right, guys, running excellent. Thanks to everybody that chimed in last week. So last week I had cleaned the carbs up, and when I took these carbs apart, some weirdness on number 3. It was all black on the inside of the carb, dark like oil. And now I know what happened, but when it was running weird after I'd done the carbs, I was starting to suspect there was something wrong with that cylinder. A couple of you guys chimed in, I really appreciate it, thinking that it was maybe something with the valves. So I had already, at that point, I had already adjusted the valves, but now I started worrying about maybe a burned valve. So did a compression check right off the bat and checked the coil. Everything was good there. And that was a good feeling because I knew coming back it was probably carburation. And what happened, the reason it ran bad after I had redone the carbs, and I won't ever make this mistake again. I've done it a few times now, and this was my last time. But basically, you get the carbs all immaculate and beautiful, and then you hook up your IV bottle without a filter, and whatever is in that IV bottle, because the IV bottle hangs outside of my garage, got sucked in, clogged 1 or 2 of the pilots. Speaking of the pilots, something that you guys should do if you're not doing it when you rebuild the carbs is, and I learned this from Shubidin, is these nifty little things just came here today. Take one of these and go through the pilots. They're micro bits, and you're not ow, and they're sharp. You're not boring out the pilot at all. You're just basically running it through there, knock down any grit or maybe it age, maybe it's some corrosion inside of them. But I did that and put them all back together, and it runs like a champ now. Fires right up. Look at that. Boom. So there's that. So now just got to go back to cosmetic stuff, get it taken care of. If you guys are taking the head off or the valve cover off, one thing you should do is ditch the pair system. I've done like 12 of these bikes, and the first couple I did, I left the pair system intact, and the bike would pop on deceleration because it's spitting back unburnt fumes or fuel back into the combustion process. But I used to get the little block offs and all that stuff, and they weren't cheap. They're a neat part, but I think they were like $40. Now what I do is I just remove all the pair system, fill these up with RTV, put a cap on them, and then just a generic plug in the air box back there. The bikes just seem to run better without that stuff on there. I think it's just dated, old, emissions stuff. Probably, I imagine the newer systems probably run better, but they don't make the bike run horrible. But I can tell the difference when they're popping on deceleration like that. And you save like, gotta be what, 18 ounces of weight. Anyway, so yeah, back on the cosmetic stuff. Super straight bike, an 87, 24,000 miles. The carbs are all synced. Button this all back together. It was nice. I took it apart. A nice little surprise. I had a K&N filter, but it doesn't look like they ever put any oil on them. And I remember when I was first getting into bikes back in the 80s, they would run these dry. Like, oh, don't put any oil on them. But that's since gone by the wayside, and now, they recommend. Maybe this has like a non-K&N type of oil. Usually, always the K&N stuff's red. But it's nice because usually on these bikes, these are absolutely, like, they come out in pieces if they're the stock ones, because either somebody didn't change them, or I just don't think they were made to last a long time. So anyway, get the cosmetic stuff back on it, put some miles on it, and then put it up for sale. All right, guys, thanks to everybody that chimed in last week. I appreciate it. Take care.